jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports. Yo, talking way too much World Combat Sports. Talking way too much World Combat Sports. Man, shout out to my boy Private Key, man. You know, out here doing this thing. Salute to everyone, man, this holiday spirit, yo. You know what it is. We're going to get down to it. Big shout out to the holiday, spirit. It's supposed to be out here in the air. And, trying to stay safe without this virus and everything. And big shout out to those who out here working, grinding, and you able to provide for everyone that you have to, make Christmas seem like it's the best holiday on the calendar. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to ones who young enough to still enjoy this shit, There's some people that just really, they're able to enjoy Christmas the way it used to be. I mean, it's not like that a lot of times. Like kids come out, they already open their presents days before. They end up playing this shit. Christmas come, you'll be lucky if you get breakfast cooked. Usually here in the South, you get breakfast cooked on Christmas. After you open your presents, everybody get the thing, sit back and enjoy each other's company. It's supposed to be one of the most loving days on the annual calendar, dog. Oh my God. I ain't gonna lie, I missed that. Grits, sausage, bacon, you know what I'm saying? Eggs. It's according to where you at, how deep you in the South. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the holiday spirit, man. So WCS on deck. And we're gonna talk about the back blast. Let me call it the back blast of the franchise title. The back blast. I'm trying to wait till some people get in here before I really start talking about this topic because it's been out there for so long, man. And y'all didn't want to listen to a brother like me. King Mitch, what's good? On deck, man. How you feeling, bro? I spoke about this over and over again in identifying the undisputed with the franchise belt as such, right? And I know Mitch even was in here talking about, it ain't no franchise undisputed. Listen, I was sitting up here explaining because I think people kind of ignore the fact because they look at numbers, they look at these artificial numbers like the Matrix, and they feel that should somehow persuade them to tune into the channel. I was sitting up here telling you all that it's imagination when it comes to imagination. For somebody to invent something new, they go to the past, the present, and then they think about something that they can potentially invent or be innovated in the future. Mauricio Suliaman said he was doing away with tradition and moving towards evolution. Y'all wanted to continue to shut it down because it was just a device that was out here in the division, and that device, Vasily Lomachenko wasn't able to hold it long enough, right? It didn't really catch fire till Teofimo Lopez had it. For real. Canelo did nothing with it. Lomachenko did anything with it. It really didn't catch fire to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez was the first fighter to fight for a franchise title. He was the first one. Teofimo Lopez was the first fighter, first boxer to defeat a champion and fight for the WBC franchise title. Yes, sir. George Kambosos was the second. When I was telling you all that Mauricio and what his course of action was going to be with this title, people was like, man, that shit ain't this. Let's do it for Devin. Let's do it for that. I understand you advocating for Devin Haney, man. I understand that. But this was much, much bigger than Devin Haney. And if you go further back, I was saying that you can't be extremely mad at Teofimo Lopez for redirecting their pathway to the pot of gold. They redirected their pathway to the IBF where Haney was ranked, Nakatani was ranked, both of them ranked higher than Teo. And Teo happened to, take that route and run the gauntlet all the way up to Lomachenko and win the belts. My point, as a leader, when I was leading troops or whatever, I would have made the decision, of course, to have option 2 and 3 and 4. And within a planning process, you have to plan and collect as much intel as you possibly can, as much data as you possibly can, to see this through all the way to the end to its success. And when the WBC tournament crumbled, that was a huge, like when that WBC tournament crumbled, y'all, when it crumbled, that basically told you all what it was going to be from then on out. You know how you walk up on one of those areas and they have those big yellow signs up there and it's telling you beware? You know what I'm saying? It'll tell you, like in so many movies, right? It would be some type of chemical spill or whatever, and they just warn you and warn you and warn you. Be careful. Do not enter. Do not enter. The WBC tournament was giving everyone that big warning sign, yellow with black trim. It was basically putting it out there. This tournament has radiation. You will be harmed. You could face life-threatening health problems from standing here too long. And though I'm exaggerating the point, that is exactly what we're seeing with Devin Haney. And you probably asking yourself, what do you mean by, detrimental, life-threatening? Of course, I'm not talking about his physical life. I'm talking about his boxing life, all right? I'm talking about his boxing life in a sense where he's been waiting around attempting, and he has improved as far as, satisfying the fans and fighting for the fans. He's been trying to make a splash. He's been trying to be more vocal. Bill always been out here on these YouTube avenues trying to drive it to more interest to his son's name. I get it. But I was telling you all about Mauricio Suliaman. That man is the president of the WBC. So therefore, he can continue to change up and create and submit, create, submit, create, submit over and over again. And I've been wanting to say this for so long without breaking the spirits of these boxing fans that push opinionated narratives, that believe their voice actually has influence in changing stuff. I've been wanting to say this for a while, but when it comes down, I mean, I've said it before, reiterate it. When you look at the sport of boxing, the reason why you're going to continue to feel the way you do and be subjected to Mauricio Suliaman coming out and giving a freedom belt to the Charlo brothers, and then giving and this disclaiming that Devin Haney is the pride champion. If you really don't understand why that's the case, all you have to look at the history of boxing. All you have to do is look at a sport that's not regulated. Listen to what I just told you. Boxing can do what the hell it want to do. If you have a football team and a player is, testing dirty, there's different consequences than in boxing. There's different consequences. There's been boxers who get caught cheating, whether it be manipulation of their equipment or performing enhancing drugs, and they get a suspension or whatever. In other sports who are much more regulated than boxing, they may potentially face a harsher punishment. They may potentially be banned from the sport, face jail time, all that. Boxing has nobody who is the commander in chief. There's no CIC. Mauricio Suliaman isn't the CIC of boxing. There's no commander in chief for this sport. This sport is indeed the Serengeti. It is a wild, wild west of, you have multiple freaking, individuals from all different promotions running around doing what they want to do, and fighters are affected in different ways. If a fighter fight on Showtime once and they really have no solid commitment, their name is not on documentations to bind them to a long life, multi-fight deal, they can end up fighting on a regional freaking promotion just to make a check. They can go from fighting on Showtime to a regional promotion. So you saying, I just saw this dude on TV. That's how crazy, insane boxing is. Boxing is somewhat like a system. You have to look at boxing as a system. People want to look at it as a sport, but boxing is a system. Just do your research on what I'm saying as far as boxing being a system. I look at boxing more so as a system and not a sport. Who is regulating this sport? You have individuals competing within a system to get to a certain place. It's so many layers that they have to go through within this system. It's such a huge step process in this system that they have to get through. And even when they get to there, they believe they've done everything they're supposed to do within this system to get where they need to be. Then something else happens. And you say, how could that happen? I did everything I'm supposed to do. Why you treat me like this? Because there's no regulation. Who's regulating boxing? It's too much money in this business for it to be regulated. And I've just given you one of my primary secrets as to why I look at, this system the way I do. That's why I don't have a sense of urgency. I'm not on here, acting like I should basically be, a content creator that come up with all these storylines, these plots, what I'm saying? Giving people damn clickbait to brainstorm, creating storylines that has suspense and intrigue to it, so fight fans can go out there and feel a certain way. I just told you why, because I always looked at boxing as a system. See, it's hard to sit up here and explain to people that when they consider it as a sport, But when you talk to them and you ask them this simple question, who regulates boxing? Who regulates the sport of boxing? Who is regulating combat sports? Who's regulating the sport of boxing? Who's regulating boxing? So if you can't tell me that answer, then I ask you this. Once again, who's in charge of this system? Who's running the system? This is a system. Somebody tell me the SOP, the standard operating procedure for this structure, this system that we look at of individuals competing in hand-to-hand combat. Why aren't the standard operating procedures across the board able to allow this sport to thrive and the fans are able to see the best fight the best? Why can't we see that? Why is Devin Haney being considered a demoted Pride champion? It's a slap in the face with a cactus hand. You know what I'm saying? With a cactus hand, it's a slap in the face. It is, man. It is, bro. I try to tell y'all about this franchise shit. Mauricio is the one. Look, any sanctioned body could have started what Mauricio did, but Mauricio is known for placing belts on the, putting these titles on the conveyor belt and just producing them at a massive rate. It's according to who he feels should get one. When I was telling y'all Teofimo Lopez was undisputed, and you didn't want to accept the fact, was because Vasily Lomachenko beat Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title. People just, no. Listen, I'm only going to go so far, with my time and trying to explain shit that I understand. If you refuse to understand it because you're closed-minded, then cool. But I was telling you all that the man had everything. And a lot of people probably say, well, he didn't win the franchise belt, but he was the franchise champion. He was able to submit paperwork within this system for approval, and he was able to receive this franchise belt. He had everything besides the IBF title. So therefore, when Teo defeated him, he became the undisputed lightweight champion. So just because we had a two-way tug of war going on where people wanted to see him fight Devin Haney, let me tell you, I'm about to get to some of these people. Appreciate y'all tuned in. Let me tell you the most painstaking how would I put that? The most painstaking, process and just listen to all these people that was advocating for that situation to happen. They was pushing. You can go through YouTube and you can sit up here and retrieve all these fucking thumbnails, man. All these conversations. All the time that Bill and Lopez Sr. was on there talking for hours. And then the channel that was able to believe and they was feeling all good about they was getting these views. All alone, I'm speaking to people behind the scene. Shit was never going to happen. Never going to happen. They don't want to listen because we live in a world, right? We're out here supporting a system of competitors who are fighting one another for a living, for a profession, right? And then we have a reality of people who are in simulation with a lot of things they do in life now. We have social media to contribute to that. When I was telling them that Teofimo Lopez was the undisputed champion, and they up here trying to make it a freaking a boxing media of battle of, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to make it all about war for the wrong reason. They wanted to make it all about derogatory and obscenities. They just wanted to make it about slander. Boxing has enough for all that shit. But what they was putting out to the public wasn't doing anything. It wasn't influential in making any fight happen with Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney at all. I can't tell you all the times, the conversation I was having behind the scenes, that it didn't matter what Lopez Sr. was shaking hands and agreeing. It didn't fucking matter because that wasn't binding. So with all these voices out here that was pushing for this fight, and then he fight Kambosos, and he's saying, "Oh, it's a duck, 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 it's a duck." He didn't have to because Mauricio Suliaman created a title that basically placed Devin Haney, WBC strap, as a subordinate. Now he's took it a step further, people. He basically told y'all straight up once again to your face, just like he was playing around with Teofimo Lopez. Now Kambosos, he likes Kambosos' team. Is more his team, Kambosos' team is more pliable. They're able to bend a lot more than the Lopez's. Listen to what I'm telling you. Team Kambosos is more pliable to bend with instructions than Team Lopez was. So he comes out. I mean, time Kambosos win the title. What happens? He comes out and he put undisputed on his IG. And then his team interview, undisputed, saying the same shit I said. His trainer said, well, because he beat, Teofimo, who beat Lomachenko, who had everything. See, when I was telling y'all Teofimo had everything, that included the belt that Devin Haney had. Though it wasn't something that you can physically see in the possession of Teofimo Lopez. It's on his record, Lomachenko's record, as winning against Luke Campbell. So he reaped the fruits of Lomachenko's labor by transparently, somewhat having proprietorship of that WBC title that Haney has. When it comes to credentials, when it comes to bragging rights, Teofimo had that because he beat Lomachenko, who had both the franchise and the WBC title at one point in time. He vacated, I know that. I'm talking about in his possession, he had it. The only title he didn't have was the IBF. Now, for Mauricio Suliaman to come out, you have to understand everything that he does is calculated. He waits to the end of the year to put this information out there. And then the name that he gave it. What do y'all think about that freaking name? I'm going to let that sit. What do y'all think about the name? What is your reasoning? What do you think the reason is for that name that he gave, that he labeled Devin Haney? What do you think about that name? What's your process? What's your thought on that name that he labeled for that title? I want to hear your input. Jay Ocho on deck. What's good? Salute, come back. K Mitch, Tio ain't do shit with it. He lost to a mandatory from a different sanctioning body. Listen, Mitch. I didn't say he did shit with it. Kambosos haven't did shit with it either. If you want to talk about the scales of glory when it comes to who Teofimo beat and who Kambosos beat, you know what I'm saying? Tio, like I said on the previous live, he gets a bit more of that grade, that high grade, because he beat Vasily Lomachenko. George Kambosos, the best opponent on his resume was Teofimo Lopez, and also he gets that transparent freaking glory. Also, just like I was talking about the WBC, he gets that from Lomachenko, who was defeated by Tio, and now Kambosos get both of that. Both of those, greatest scales of glory. So when it comes down to it, Kambosos ain't did shit either. But Cap, that's it. L Foul Player, what's good? Celebrate Pride. So I want to hear what y'all have to say about that, man. Belts aren't the end all be, but that world title has helped Devin Haney. He needs to his mandatories because nobody really wants to fight him. What does the franchise belt has to do with Devin Haney's mandatories? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Devin Haney's belt is for him. His mandatories want to walk away. They want to flee the scene. That's a problem that even Devin Haney can't do anything about. He's in a real bad. He's in a fickle, as they call it right now. He is. You know. I'm not here to place any like pity on Devin Haney because they grown people. They've been in the sport. But I'm just saying, for somebody to come up with multiple options, and one of those options may be to say, you know what, look at where I'm at right now. I have a device. I have a championship strap. I am a world titleist, but I'm incapable of progressing right now. I can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere. It's just like having a damn a Bentley truck outside and you can't go anywhere in it because the shit don't have an engine. You just bought the frame. You got the frame. You know, it looked easy. You know, from the outside, it looked like a whole car, but it don't have an engine. You cannot go anywhere. You cannot proceed around the corner. You can't go up the street. You can't go anywhere. That's what that belt has become due to the language and due to the blatant disrespect from Mauricio Suliaman, especially coming out with this new shit at the end of the year to bring in 22. UK on deck, what's good? I think Devin moves up when Josh Taylor vacates. The other sanctioned bodies would welcome. I don't think so. He haven't really given us an indication that he's willing to make that slide. I haven't heard any type of. I haven't gotten any vibe. I haven't heard any language. He hasn't gave me that type of body language. It hasn't really been spoken on in the media. I haven't heard anything about that. Devin, because he's a high earner. Hold on for a second. All right, so back to UK. Everything is about what you say in life, man. I mention language a lot because it does play a significant role on the on the perception on how you communicate with somebody. When you say Devin is a high earner, how? Because he's making guaranteed money doesn't make him a high earner. He has other divisions and boxes to go through. You have to have levels of advancement. You have to continue to increase. Just because you're making this money at this lightweight division, you don't want to go up to 140 and continue to not be able to fight. I mean, stay at 135 and continue to just fight whoever's available, like you working off the clearance rack, and expect to make more and more money without a PPV structure. In order for him to really make that top dollar, you have to somehow, some way be included in the PPV structure. Forget this guaranteed money. Yes, guaranteed money is cool, but when it comes down to the PPV structure and everything to get you that guaranteed money, that plays a huge role, man. Haney will move up soon, regardless of 135 potential has finally become kinetic. He'll stay for the big fight or two, but the move is inevitable. Young man is still growing. I'll tell you the same thing I told UK. I haven't really got that vibe or that energy that Devin's moving up real soon. It seems like they're unwilling to relinquish the belt, so they can go a different route. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, they may be waiting and hoping and wishing that they might get this Kambosos shot. I'd be surprised if Kambosos give Devin Haney the shot, from what I'm hearing. They're pushing big time for Kambosos to fight Lomachenko. It's very disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very disappointing. I was really hoping that we can clear the slate and be able to see a boxing match, a first of its kind in professional boxing. This would have been a boxing match, the first of its kind, including a title that's about to be an intricate role player throughout boxing for the new era, and that's the franchise title. It's going to be an intricate role player in this sport, and it's going to furthermore allow boxers to do what the hell they want in a system that's not regulated. Remember, I told you that. I don't care, I'm not sitting up here telling I told you over and over again, but I did make mention that the franchise belt will play a significant role. And you're seeing it right now by Mauricio Suliaman basically demoting, devaluing, deflecting, anything you can put in a negative connotation as far as him refusing to elevate and put Devin an equal level of the franchise belt. Something to let people know that, he's relevant in the lightweight division. See, the crazy part about this, once again, I'm trying to tell you, this is the lightweight division, people. Look at all the other WBC champions. Are they doing that with down there at the flyweight with Juan Estrada? Are they doing this with any other division? Like, just because Canelo was able to do what he wanted to do and move up and not really implement, he was given the franchise belt for a simple reason, to be able to move as he saw fit at his discretion. What you don't see what Mauricio Suliaman is doing is taking full advantage of this damn franchise championship garden, which is the lightweight division. He's cultivating the shit out of this franchise title. He's growing this shit as much as he can in the lightweight division. And unfortunately, Devin Haney is the scarecrow who's just sitting up there and people look at and then they keep walking. After a while, the birds just come in, and at first they thought it was relevant. They said, "Oh man, that shit, okay, yeah, we need to pay attention." Then all of a sudden, it just come and they'll land on the damn scarecrow and eat right there. They say, "Oh, what's going on, guy? What you up to today? You always look the same when I fly through here." It took me a while to get my son and my son and daughter to come over here. They thought you was real, but I had to tell them, just fly with me. I'm telling you. Mauricio Suliaman is on his shit when it comes to authority. Bruce goes on deck. How you feeling, bro? Salute, brother. World Combat Sports. Appreciate you, Bruce. Appreciate you pulling up. Haney is an earner for himself right now because his purse is the highest in the division, but he hasn't really generated big revenue just yet. He's on his way, though. He needs a dance partner to break through. I don't disagree with the last part. Look, Devin's been needing a dance partner, but this isn't about Devin Haney. Devin Haney is buckled in. I'm talking about he has a seatbelt over the right shoulder, seatbelt coming over the left shoulder. He has one around the waist. He has a helmet on right now. They got him buckled in pretty tight, almost like you would if you had on a straitjacket. If you get what I'm saying. It's nothing he can do. This is all Mauricio. It's not like Team Haney isn't going out here trying to make a bigger name for themselves. They've been trying that shit. Aimlessly, they've been trying. The amount of hours that Bill put on this shit, on this YTC, the hours, the days. I can't tell you how many days when he was about to face Gamboa and they was going back and forth with Gary Russell, them hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, dog. So when you say he the top earner, we need to look at him being a part of a pay-per-view card that he is making the share. the grand share of it. You know what I'm saying? He's benefiting not just from his guaranteed money. Guaranteed money can only get you paid so much until you really start making that top dollar. That top dollar. That money Canelo's making right now. That top dollar. People need to get off this freaking square wheel wagon where they continue to say, oh, fighters making this money, they're making that money. If you are attached to an organization that's giving you guaranteed money, how do you increase that monetary gain? How do you go about doing that? How do they continue to insert growth into you? What's next? Who's sitting up here coming up with the next plan? How do Devin Haney continue to grow his net worth if no one wants to fight him and they're unwilling to recognize him? They keep on speaking of his title in a subordinate status. How's he going to increase his monetary gain? How's he going to exploit his network, his growth income? Shout out to Destiny Black on deck. How you feel, Queen? Appreciate you pulling up. Bruce Goes, Destiny Black. Hey, Queen. What's good, Bruce? I've been saying for a long time that black fighters need to boycott the WBC. I go through this again, and that's a solid point. Boycotting. I mentioned this before about protesting on the YTC, and the selfish part about it is that there individuals who go out here and talk on a boxer all the time because they are increasing their viewership, they're increasing their subscribers, and they're increasing some type of money revenue for their channel. It still benefits them. But when you ask somebody to basically put a restriction on that, to protest, then they have to basically be away from that system or that process where they're not going to make that revenue. And the individuals that may be giving them super chats or supporting their channel, they're going to ask them, man, why are you doing this? Why are you doing? That's when it becomes a reality check about this boxing shit. You can get up here and talk. People tune in, give you super chats because that's what they want to hear. But if you want a YouTube channel to protest, that ain't going to happen. So let's turn it over to boxing. You want boxers who aren't on the same level to somehow, some way protest the WBC. That will ultimately be a demise for those boxers. You know why it will be a demise? Because these boxers need funding. They need somebody that's supporting them and backing them for this protest. Because somehow, some way, they need to continue to make revenue and money in this protest. How long is the protest going to be? Are you going to protest for 2 weeks straight? That seems very little, but that means you have to take time out your day to continue to protest. So every fighter that's up there cannot have a fight pending. They can't be in fight camp. And also, depending on who their manager is and who they signed to, you know how they used to say that the promotion supposed to work for the fighter? No, the fighter works for the promotion. If you sitting up here, you're trying to be ranked in this sanctioning body, and you're up here protesting, we do know what the word blackball, we do know what the word ostracize mean. You know what I'm saying? We know about all that. So when you're talking about a system that's not regulated, who's in charge? Who is the commander in chief in boxing that you can run to and voice a complaint? Who is the HR of boxing? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. So if you want these fighters to protest the WBC, good luck with that. Good luck with that. They're going to take names. They're going to make a list. They're going to document, and they're going to make sure when it comes up to certain fighters getting these fights and that fight, oh, you want to be on the news? Okay, cool. We're going to starve you out. The manager's going to be calling, hey, why can't we make this fight? Why can't Hey, I'm telling you, it happens, man. Why you think Gary Russell haven't been active in the ring the way he should? It's not because he doesn't want to. It's not because he can't box. That's one of the most elite high-level boxers in the game. It's because Gary Russell spoke out of turn. Now, for me as a grown man, I'm not telling Gary he spoke out of turn. I'm telling you why he's been out of the ring, because he spoke out of turn to certain people that certain promotion that he's a part of, and those certain individuals that are prominent players, shakers and movers, prevented him from moving forward and getting big fights. That's not something I want to go deep in detail about. But when I say that Gary Russell Jr. spoke out of turn, I'm not saying it from me personally. I'm telling you what is fact from what I know. And that's just like a very polite term to use, and him speaking out of term instead of saying, he fucked up. But hopefully that's all about to come to a conclusion, and we can see him step in there with a potential big fight. Okay. But PH Big Dog in the building. What's good? Salute WCS. How you feeling? Haney got to stand up and we have to back him up. WC is anti-black. When I read that Big Dog from the South, they always say that, when it comes to voices who happen to come from a black individual, a black American, because see, me, the way I was raised, I don't have to say African American and everything. I know my ancestry, but I'm a black American, right? So when it comes to blacks, and when it comes to this, once again, the system that we are supporting, called boxing, you have to look at it in the sense of what's going on right in front of your face. It's not playing the race card. Once again, I said this before, it's not playing the race card. It's what is absolutely clear and present evidence that we see this going on. The elevation of the levels from popping dirty. You're elevating increasing levels of a banned substance that's in violation. You're increasing levels to benefit and appease that fighter. And to see Oscar Valdez, the most recent travesty, for him to still be able to compete in his hometown after popping dirty, then to continue to validate my point of the undisputed title. Now that George Kambosos is on deck, you all are being able to see this more and more come out at the end of the year on what I've been saying all along. I've been telling you the franchise title is going nowhere. It's very unfortunate that he continues to just treat Team Haney like they really don't have any relevance right now when it comes to the lightweight division. That's what he's doing. Even though he holds a WBC world title, Mauricio Suliaman has made the commitment to support other races and show Devin Haney, hey, it's my decision. It's pretty much nothing you can do about it. You can't go over my head. I know Bill Haney at one point in time said he was going to sue them. That would have been a waste of money, because when you're talking about a system, this boxing is not regulated, dog. Who is running this shit? Ask yourself, who in the hell is running boxing? If you can find that answer, then you will be less stressful when bullshit like this come up and they consider Devin the pride champion or whatever, the pride champion. Have you ever heard of some calamity like that? Some other bullshit? Have you heard of such like that? Let's be honest with ourselves. Christmas is around the corner. Come on, man. Let's turn over a new leaf. Have you ever seen anything take place in boxing like this? That goes to show you how he's intent on doing away with tradition and changing over to evolution. Where evolution always come adversity. All the time. This is no different. Mauricio is basically dropping bombs everywhere, and nothing no one can do about it. It's been said that Devin should vacate the belt. But see, you can't vacate the belt if you plan on staying down there. At this point in time, since Kambosos has defeated Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion, it's no use for Devin Haney to vacate the belt and attempt to retrace the steps of Teofimo Lopez and become the mandatory in a neighboring sanctioned body such as the WBA, IBF, and WBO. It makes no sense to me because I think they would prevent him from doing that too. It's a bad situation. I'm not going to lie to you. I heard Bill and Devin say they're willing to move up, but of course the Kambosos fight is top priority right now. Let me tell Mitch and everybody else in the live chat, right? We can hear Eddie Hearn say whatever he want to say. We can hear Bill, Devin. We heard Teofimo Lopez Sr. say what the hell they wanted to say. Kambosos definitely was up there just capping, just like Ryan Garcia. They can say whatever they want in sport of boxing. They can say whatever they want. But what truly matters is what? When they actually start the negotiation process to put it all in a legal binding term and document. When that documentation is built up and then it's presented to the attorneys and they basically review it and return with the team, that's when it becomes serious. None of that is happening right now. Lomachenko's over. That fight is over. Gervonta is over. Devin Haney fight over. Gervonta won. Devin Haney won. Lomachenko won. I told you Kambosos was waiting for Lomachenko to finish because he feels like Lomachenko is that guy. He feels like Lomachenko is his Manny Pacquiao. Listen to me now. Kambosos feels that Lomachenko is his Pacquiao. Now, like Big Dog said about Haney, I understand you, my brother. I'm here. And like I said before, I've absolutely changed up my criticism on Haney from the Jorge Linares fight. Because what I seen outside of his pops on YouTube grinding, hour after hour after hour after hour, day after day after day after day, talking and talking and talking, building up his son. People are not going to like everything he say, but he's been out here doing it, right? When I seen the way he fought with Linares, I say, you know what? That's very different from the Gamboa fight. He fought him way different, much more aggressively, and he faced adversity in that fight. Then after the fight, I seen how before it was a back and forth exchange, verbal warfare and shit on Teofimo Devin Haney. They were still saying Devin Haney ain't fought nobody. He got hurt with Linares. He's still unproven. So now he gets a fresh face. When I say fresh face, I'm talking about a fresh face to the division and a fresh face to his boxrec. He faced Jojo Diaz. This is a legitimate guy who people respected. He was coming off a win of Javier Fortuna. They respecting Jojo. Goes in there, it ain't enough. He didn't face the adversity he faced in Jorge Linares. I didn't think he looked as clean as he did against Linares because you're talking about two different fighters. But he still did had an amazing performance in there to the point where he should be stepping in the ring with George Kambosos. It's nothing Haney didn't do against freaking Jojo to basically place him outside of the number one contender to step in there with Kambosos. But hey, like I said before, Mauricio Suliaman did everything in this short period of time to place Kambosos at a hierarchy. And you have Devin down there on the floor begging and pleading like everybody else is down there. Not in a literal sense, okay? I'm just giving the scenario as the hierarchy that they're placing. You know what I'm saying? Heavy as the head who wear the crown. They sitting him on the throne. He's wearing the crown right now in the lightweight division. And for him to just devalue Devin Haney's title is disrespectful, man. It's distasteful. It's in your face disrespect. That boycott shit sound cool, and I'm with it because Suliaman ain't never been shit. But that title is serving Haney as a benefit. Y'all think he's frozen out now without that title? There's no Mandos. When it comes down to Mandos, Mitch, right? What's the point of holding on the title for a Mando if it's not the person that you really want to take you over the top? Devin Haney is looking for over the top. He's looking for that over the top performance. Who gives a fuck about the Mandos? The Mandos are not the top 5 players that's in the game. You're not getting Javante Davis coming up with the Mandos. We had Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia aborted mission. He aborted mission, say, oh, they can talk to my attorneys. Jojo Diaz aborted mission. So with all these people that was ducking Devin Haney, you can't just continue to say that he ain't shit. He don't have nobody. He ain't fought nobody. Who is he fought? Who is that? You can't continue to say that. Now it becomes, he's just being blacklisted, period. So you want to talk about protesting? What are you protesting? Please do tell. You want to talk about protesting? What exactly, who are you protesting to? And what are you protesting about? Are you mad because he's demoting a belt that he created? He's the president. So you really got to think logically, beyond logically. You have to derive a plan that makes sense. Like, who are you protesting to? Mauricio Suliaman? So you have a problem with what he is doing, what he is giving permission to his people to do. Him and his board, governing bodies. WBC have a governing body. So basically, you're mad at what they have collectively agreed upon. So you want to protest to them when they have nobody to answer to. So after all the protests, and Mauricio said, I hear you. Believe me, this is going to blow over, and allow some more weeks to come into the 2022 year, and this too will change, and you will understand why my decisions are the way they are, because we're doing away tradition and we're going over to evolution, and evolution becomes the franchise title. He's going to say the same shit. He's a politician. This is a guy who was cross-trained by his pops. That information was passed down, people. Protest. What are you protesting? What are you protesting exactly? You want to protest somebody who has nobody to answer to? So you want to go up there and complain to them? You can you can hope for the best. But definitely expect the worst. Where you planning on taking this? Are you gonna march on the Capitol? They're gonna laugh. They say, man, we don't want to hear about that boxing stuff. You know how long we've been knowing that boxing has corruption to it? What are you here for? Are you gonna protest just strictly for Devin Haney? Because Devin Haney is not even 1% of boxers in the sport. He's not even 1%. So you're gonna protest one boxer? I wish it was unity like that. I really do. I wish it was, fighters in general, but more so if it was blacks that would step together and believe it was something to protest. And people may not like what I'm about to say, but me being in the protests down here in Atlanta, 3 of the protests that happened for George Floyd, right? That man have did nothing close to what Devin Haney has been able to do in his lifetime. I understand the situation he was placed in upon his death. I get it, but that's not. I'm not here to turn this into, um, CSI and shit in First 48. I'm just saying that you have someone that's competing in a professional sport and not drinking, not smoking, and they're competing. But now they're at a point right now where the fans are somehow indirectly, or boxing has directly been able to persuade individuals to basically put them on the shelf. Because boxing is a business, but then the people who are talking about boxing as a business, they haven't did any more than what Devin Haney has done in boxing. They haven't. Like Teofimo, yeah. Boxrec, opponent wise, yes. Lomachenko, yes. Kambosos, his undeniable accolade is defeating Teo. So now Kambosos is not going to look at it like, okay, Lomachenko, you had your chance. You had your opportunity to unify the division, but you chose to not put a rematch clause in there, and you chose to vacate the WBC title. You had your opportunity, but you blew it. Now I'm going to provide Devin Haney an opportunity because I was given the opportunity. Though it was mandatory, I was given the opportunity. I mean, people aren't thinking sensibly like that. They can give a fuck, man. King facts, and I suspect that's why Haney haven't dropped it yet. They're not going to drop it because it really takes away. It really leaves them butt ass naked right now. The lightweight division, the respect will go out the window. They will attempt to treat Devin Haney like Riddick Bowe, for real. If he got off that title, let's just say he did it respectfully, and say I'm vacating the WBC title because I'm not able to advance any way, shape, or form. You might as well, stand by. Because the damn backlash is coming just from him respectfully vacating the title because he's unable to move forward to face a top tier name. The only reason Haney was able to get Linares and JoJo in the ring was because of the title. He's one of the guys that need a mandatory fight. Boys ducking. Absolutely. Absolutely. But where are they getting these mandatories? This is called last minute. It's called, okay, let's bring him up another mandatory. How many mandatories you gonna fight? Like, let's just say you want to fight twice a year. Everybody can't be a goddamn mandatory. You just had your mandatory. There's time limits. There's windows. There's requirements for WBC. I mean, if you want to get, you don't get paid unless you fight, right? So what if you want to fight 2 or 3 times in a year? You're going to say, oh, let's get him another Mandy. Mandy up. We ain't trying to hear that. Jojo Diaz avoided him initially too until Ryan Garcia was found goddamn making damn snowmen in the sand and shit, talking to himself. So he goddamn ran away. And so Jojo had to come back around, swallow that salt tablet, and step in the ring with Haney. What has JoJo did in the lightweight division to get all this love? Destiny said, keep right, King right, and it's sad that boxing is a joke at this point. I think you're misunderstanding me when you say protest. When you say protest, I mean not give a F about the WBC and grow that belt and throw that belt away and not pay the sanction fees and the belt that mistreats black fighters. I'm just processing what you said about a belt that mistreats black fighters. Just because this is going on right now, I think it's absolutely the headquarters who is making the decisions for this specific fighter in Haney not to get his just due, not to have the opportunity to walk through that door and split the ropes on the big stage to fight George Kambosos. They're basically influencing the crowd to say, you know what, Devin Haney has no damn appraising value in this division, because I'm saying undisputed champion is George Kambosos. Why isn't he saying, you know what, Devin is the WBC, super champion, and George Kambosos is the WBC franchise champion? All this time when they were sitting up there, not recognizing T.O. for this, not recognizing T.O. for that, everybody was on here doing lives and talking about, oh, they didn't recognize. And I was trying to tell you, it don't matter. It don't care. It doesn't matter if they're not recognizing. It doesn't matter. They can not recognize all they want. What's taking place is going to stay here. Showtime don't have shit to do about it. Top Rank don't have shit to do with Golden Boy. None of that. They don't have shit to do with the WBC's protocol and the way they implement their belts. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. It's no regulation. Who are they going to answer to? If the WBC continues, which it has, to make these decisions that affects black fighters in a negative stance, then how do you go about changing it? Boxing's attitude is you choose to compete in the sport, so deal with it. Perfect example. Shakur Stevenson, he didn't get the shot to face Oscar Valdez, the WBC junior lightweight champion. Shakur Stevenson defeated Jamel Herring fair and square. He's the WBO junior lightweight champion. Why isn't he next in line to face Oscar Valdez? Why isn't Manuel Navarrete getting that opportunity? They're blatantly tell you, if anyone, like I told you before, if you go down to the amateur ranks and see all these Mexican fighters that's down there, then you will understand as to the wave that we're experiencing right now. This is a tsunami that's going on right here. This is a tsunami. Remember, I said it. This is the only beginning. The swell is just building. The swell is just building, y'all. This is a tsunami. This shit has been building up for a minute. This franchise title isn't going anywhere. This shit ain't going nowhere. It's going to continue to hurt feelings. It's going to continue to have people goddamn frowning up, gritting their teeth, clenching their fists, because that's how the sport operates. Always ask yourself, who can we go to? If you want to protest, who can we protest to? Don't say the WBC. Because in order for you to get some type of changes or anything, they have to answer to somebody. Who can we go to make them change up the way they're doing business? The way they're not allowing Devin Haney, who is a black fighter, to be able to get the equal recognition, respect-wise, to step in the ring with Kambosos and get that assistance from Mauricio Suliaman. Mauricio is like showing his face, dog. Like he's really showing his dark side again. Like he said, I don't care what they think. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna make the decision. I don't care who get pissed off about it. Who cares? We got Gary Russell. We have Gary Russell Jr. at the featherweight division, right? And this is no controversy going on with him except with PBC. You haven't really had no controversy going on with him getting elevated to the franchise. You know what I'm saying? I know it was some rumor mill out there that Mauricio said, well, he doesn't fight enough, and people's up here assuming that Gary Russell didn't want the franchise, but he's the longest reigning champion right now. They haven't been able to strip that title away from him. And then you go up to 130. You got Oscar Valdez. And then, of course, you go to 140. You got Josh Taylor. Then it gets interesting right here. This is where If you wanna say it's prejudice, discrimination, this way it gets interesting, right? For everyone who's listening, the 147-pound division, this way it gets very interesting of WBC title holders, because you already know who the WBC title holder, Errol Spence. He is black. You go up to 154, you have Jermell Charlo, who is black. You go up to 160, WBC champion, Jermall Charlo. He is black. Prior to his defeat, Deontay Wilder was the heavyweight WBC champion. So it's going to be difficult to go to the WBC and say, we don't like the way you're treating black fighters and you're doing this. They say, and what is this you speak of? There's plenty of WBC. You have Gary Russell Jr., who's the WBC featherweight title. You have Errol Spence Jr. You have Jermell Charlo. You have Jermall Charlo at 60. You had Deontay Wilder. It's been like this forever. Do you remember Riddick Bowe? Do you remember this guy? Do you remember that guy? They're going to give you all the people. Hi, am I racist? If I am racist, you're racist. That's what he's gonna say. Because in order for you to say they're treating black fighters all bad, it has to be a much lower number out of 17 divisions than this. Now we know the brothers don't really compete at them lightweight, unless you're Dylan Price. Shout out to Dylan Price, the D-boy. He haven't earned the world title yet, but I'm just saying it's not many of us at them lighter weight classes like that and flyweight, stuff like that. But when you're talking about bantamweight now, all right, you're talking about bantamweight. Yeah, Nonito Donaire, that's a non-problem right there. But when you go to super bantam and then, feather on up to, it stops at super middleweight, of course, because Canelo is that champion. But before that, it was Benavidez, a Mexican fighter. So it gets very confusing. King Wright and said at this point, I think that's what Devin Haney gets. What does he get? What does he get? Remember, Aaron, that's what Devin Haney gets. What does exactly he get? And what is your interest in what he gets? I'm just curious. Miss, I credit Bob Arum with blame as it pertains to Shakur versus Oscar situation. WBC is main culprit in Haney and franchise situation. See, now y'all are switching up about, Bob influencing or having a role in Shakur versus Oscar. Then when it comes to Devin, since he signed with Matchroom, and then you say, well, it's Mauricio when it comes. So does the sanctioned bodies play a role in making fights, or sanctioned bodies promoters? The only thing they're doing, the only thing that Mauricio is doing is basically injecting this perception out to the boxing fans that his belt, the franchise title that he created for Canelo, holds a higher position, a higher appraising value, a higher title evaluation than Devin Haney. I want y'all to understand that. That's what Mauricio said. I want you all to understand that this belt holds a higher ranking than Devin Haney's WBC title. The franchise title, in order for Mauricio Suliaman to sell this to the boxing, because he's going to insert in 2022, he's probably going to insert 2 or 3 more franchise titles in boxing. He's going to wait for the perfect time to make that shit happen. But in this situation with the lightweight division, he has to make sure this franchise title doesn't evaporate. Like with Canelo Alvarez, he doesn't have any plans on doing anything with the 160 pound. So it kind of like went away. That's what he wanted. He didn't care. He just wanted to, allow Canelo to be the first and then on to the next. With Juan Estrada and Chocolatito, that can very well change hands if Chocolatito wins and they petition for the franchise belt. But right here, the lightweight division, we're about to witness a potential 4th franchise champion in a single division. That's crazy. It's been a total of 5 franchise champions up to this point. 3 of those is in the lightweight division. 3. Loma, Lopez, and Kambosos. Devin Haney is trying not to be the franchise champion. He is trying to clean out everything so he can put that on his resume that he was undisputed world champion. And like I told Devin, if you're listening, I don't care what you're hearing on here and what these other media voices are telling you. When you go in there and rob the place, you take it for everything it has in the lightweight division, just like Mauricio Suliaman is doing to you. Don't play this bullshit as, man, fuck the franchise and all this. It's only going to make you look stupid. You have to go in there and raid the entire place and petition for the franchise, everything. Don't sit up here and feel some type of way about what people saying on YouTube. Y'all take YouTube too much as if this shit is scripture. Even scripture was written by man. And that man, who knows who was influencing him? I'm just saying, like, stop taking it as if it's scripture, dog. Petition for the franchise belt and go in there and split the ropes and take everything they got. You want Kambosos to leave that arena just like Teofimo did with a black eye, with a cut over his face and nothing around his waist. All right? Let me take this down. I mean, I'm saying to myself, where do we go from here when it comes down to what we're seeing with this franchise title? Like, is there a process for us to change how this is, flowing downstream? And I just look at boxing not being a regulated sport. Boxing is a system. Boxing is a system. It's nothing that's controlling it. It's nothing that's in charge of it. You're pretty much able to do what the hell you want to do, man. People's just running amok. They're basically free flowing and doing what the hell they want to do. So what would the change be? Where is the outcry? Where is the outcry? Where's the outcry from him naming this belt the way he did? Hold up. Let me try to find something right quick. Where's the outcry, man? We need some energy, dog. We need some energy. I'm trying to get clarification as to why it's pride. Somebody tell me what article. Drop a link in there. What article, man? I've been busy. So let me read this. No, I already read this article. This is today. Okay. Hold up for a second. So let's say WBC President Mauricio Suliaman confirmed on Wednesday that George Kambosos is the undisputed champion at lightweight. Now, after his victory over IBF, WBA, and WBC franchise, WBO, 135-pound Teofimo Lopez. Bear with me. I know it's some, retreaded information. This means that Suliaman, calling Kambosos Jr. 20-0, 10 knockouts, the undisputed lightweight champion, is that there's no longer any need for him to fight WBC 135-pound champion Devin Haney. And that's what I was trying to basically reiterate. He's influencing the public that there's no way you need to satisfy any thought that Kambosos should fight Devin Haney. Why? Because he's at a position where he can do that. Extreme influence. And they love Lomachenko. They love Lomachenko. For real. Just think about it. They love Lomachenko. He was able to fight for the WBC vacant. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Garcia's old belt. They love him. He goes on to say, with Suliaman authenticating that Kambosos is the undisputed lightweight champion, he's single-handedly taken all the air out of Matchroom's promoter Eddie Hearn's argument for why Haney should be the one that faces Kambosos next, rather than the other kings in the lightweight division. Hearn's rationale for why Haney should be the one that faces Kambosos next is because the fight would be for the undisputed lightweight championship. Fighting Haney would do nothing for Kambosos to bring him the undisputed championship status because he's already earned it by defeating Teofimo Lopez. Imagine how that works. That's just incredibly prejudiced, dog. How these people be putting these articles out here. They just denounced everything about Devin Haney's belt. He said Eddie thinks that Kambosos' WBC franchise title isn't a real one and that he can only become the undisputed champion if he defeats the fighter, WBC 135-pound Haney 27-0 with 15 knockouts. But with WBC President Suliaman confirming that Kambosos is the undisputed lightweight champion, already destroys Hearn's argument for why Haney should be the one to fight the Australian next. Another part to this whole catastrophe is the fact that Devin Haney holds a WBC title, which Mauricio Suliaman created. And this WBC title that Devin Haney has is in other divisions currently, active in other divisions. And none of those other divisions are experiencing the hailstorm for which what we see in at the lightweight division. None of them. It's no disguise, people. This is absolutely and straight up prejudice when it comes down to it. And understand the different forms of prejudice. Prejudice is distinctively zooming in on Devin Haney's situation. That's prejudice. Because we're at a point right now where the prejudice is being directed in that division so that others can thrive. Those others being potentially Kambosos fighting Vasyl Lomachenko. Why is that prejudice so important for those two fighters? Because boxing is a business. Individuals want to make money. Bob Arum still want to make money off Lomachenko. Who has more influence on that? Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum? Alexander Usyk? Do you think he has influence? Absolutely, he does. And in a lot of ways, Devin Haney, Team Haney, Bill Haney, they're being bullied. That's absolutely the key word right there. They're being bullied. With Suliaman saying that Kambosos is already undisputed champion, he doesn't need to fight Haney. Fighting him would be redundant unless the WBC wants to make the fight's winner a double undisputed champion. See, they're just creating. See, this is where when you're reading comprehension, it makes you feel stupid because you're thinking to yourself that the person that wrote this article is a sound mind. You know what I'm saying? They're cognizant enough to understand right from wrong. It's no double undisputed. There's no double undisputed. Whoever wins will be undisputed. Teofimo was undisputed. Now we have a second undisputed. And then if Devin Haney, we would have 3 undisputed title holders. No double undisputed champion. You have to do away with the 4 belt. You have to do away with this in this division. If Mauricio want to cloud it and bring a whole a huge amount of volume of confusion to this, then guess what? The same thing could be said when Devin Haney steps in there and fight and say he's the undisputed. He's still going to be undisputed with the franchise belt. That's why I'm telling him to take everything, because if he leaves that franchise belt alone and think he's going to get the full recognition in a 4-belt era to be listed by the names of Terrence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Jermaine Taylor, Oleksandr Usyk, Josh Taylor, do you think if you don't petition for that franchise belt and you win, they're going to put your name up there as undisputed? It's not happening. The reason why I'm saying it's not happening, Devin Haney, because Mauricio is in the process of choosing the 135-pound division to write a different chapter in boxing. And that chapter is going to be full of prejudice and bias, because this is the division that he chose to start writing a different chapter when it comes to the franchise title. Because there are other collective divisions out there, neighboring divisions, that have WBC titles out there that's not going through this. So if Devin does not petition for the franchise title, he will not be considered the undisputed. He can go around and say what he wants with all the other titles. But if you leave Kambosos as the franchise champion, he and everybody else, all of a sudden, and Mauricio, look, check this out. This would be golden. This would be a chess move by Mauricio if he allowed it to play out like that. Because then you would have more people jumping over and say, well, guess what? He ain't undisputed now because Kambosos is the franchise champion. That's exactly what Mauricio Suliaman wants y'all to respect. He wants you to respect his belt. In order for you to lean one way or the other heavy, there has to be an underlying reason. There has to be a definitive reason. This is a perfect situation because people up here saying that Devin Haney shouldn't get the fight with Kambosos. So if Devin finally gets the fight with Kambosos and he does something like refusing to petition for the franchise belt, he's not going to change anything. He's not going to say, oh, well, I showed them I'm undisputed. It's not going to work because Mauricio has been pushing for that lightweight division that Kambosos is the undisputed titleist. You know why he wants to push that? Because he's pushing his belt. He wants people to start respecting the franchise title. In order for that to happen, he has to support the title holder. Suliaman's position hasn't changed. He said Tio was undisputed, and he's saying Kambosos is. It's his organization, so he can say and do what he wants. I don't agree, and so far, other bodies don't either. Other bodies don't have to agree with what the WBC is doing. It's just Mauricio Suliaman, he's able to pretty much move on his own accord. Until those other sanctioned bodies accept the franchise title as part of the undisputed, that shit ain't undisputed to me. Okay. Got you. Man, these troll bots are relentless today. Yep. Suliaman said there's no sanctioning fees on the franchise belt. So how exactly is it sanctioned? Hey, you can believe what Mauricio ain't look, Mauricio, if he has a belt that he's trying to push heavy and that belt is over or holds a higher ranking than Devin Haney's belt, oh, you're going to pay some sanction fees on that shit. And we all know Mauricio changes up his shit. Just like when he initially introduced the franchise title, he said it was non-transferable. But then he had to switch that up because people was like, okay, if the champion cannot lose it, then what purpose is it? Like, he can just lose, but yet he's still a champion. And then he made it, later on down the line that you're able to petition. The grantee can submit a petition to become the franchise if he defeats that champion. Miss Grote was double undisputed. But see, they're talking about being double undisputed in a single division, where Carissa Shields was undisputed in 2 different divisions. They're trying to say that in this particular case, fighting Haney would be redundant unless the WBC wants to make the fight's winner a double undisputed. So check this out. What they're saying on this boxing article is that it really doesn't make any sense at all, because if they're saying that Kambosos is undisputed and he picks up Devin Haney's belt, nothing changes. It only changes if Devin Haney wins, because now Devin Haney becomes the undisputed with the franchise title, only if he gets the franchise title. If Kambosos win, they're not going to recognize Devin Haney's belt as any indication that it changes the title that Kambosos currently have, and that is the undisputed title holder. It's not changing anything. He's just scooping up an extra belt, and they're going to move on with life. It's going to be fucked up, but they're going to move on with life. Like, okay, nothing changed. I got an extra belt. Okay. And they're going to be treating that one little belt in the lightweight division like it don't mean shit. But if you ask any other fighter in boxing that has the WBC title, it means something. I can tell you it means something because I have a picture where I was at this fight. I was interviewing these fighters and sparring or what have you, and they had this WBC world title straight out the box. And I was able to, take it out the box, take the plastic off of it, hold it. And I was like, damn. And that was a basic WBC title. So it's difficult for me to continue to say Devin just tossed this shit away, because it's a nice title, dog. Like the WBC title is a nice title. It feels good. For real. I'm going to try to get somebody. I'm trying to get that person to get me a title, but not the WBC, to be honest with you. Not the WBC. I can't sit up here and frown upon every WBC title because Mauricio Suliaman is the Zorro behind all of it. But he does make a very nice belt. Ghost in the building. How you feeling, bro? Yo, Destin, what's up, Queen? At World Combat Sports, WBC hates black folks. Nothing can convince me that ain't true. I mean, from what we seeing play out in the lightweight division, like, I look at it like this. I had the opportunity to interview Mauricio Suliaman. He wasn't treating me like, we was down here in the South. I didn't get that vibe. I didn't hang out with the man, but I was able to interview him. And his wife always been cool. I'm not just saying that. I have no play in the game when it comes to his wife. But I seen her on several places by herself. She was even down here in Atlanta. And I spoke with her. She was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, if you don't follow boxing, you would not know that's his wife. So she can walk around, come and go as she please. Only the promotion and probably the trainers and maybe a couple of fighters know who she is. A lot of fighters don't know who she is because they don't care. Because they ain't fighting for no damn title. But as far as promotion goes, and like, she was there, Franchon Cruz, the Zern was there, and it had something to do with a presentation. So she was there in the building. But she knows what her husband, the actions of her husband. Somebody tell me what happened to Jose Suliman. What happened to his pops? What happened to his pops? Let me give you a little sneak peek. Jose Suliman was elected to the World Boxing Council in 1975. I'm trying to get past everything else. This article was absolutely garbage. They didn't tell me anything. And if you don't think they sanitized this Google shit, please, let me see. I know what word. I know what keyword to put in here. There it is. There it is. Here we go. Damn. Damn. I don't have time to be damn reading through this, but the fees, it's a pony belt, a pride belt, ain't worth the price tag. So 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 if that is indeed the case, I don't believe there's no sanction fees on that franchise belt. It has to be sanction fees. And also we know it's sanction fees with the pride title, so to speak, which is absolutely disrespectful. And it kind of puts me in, I don't know, man. I don't know why he did that to Devin. The pride title. What other pride champion? It's good to be the front runner in history, to be a part of history, but not this history. You know what I'm saying? Devin, I'm pretty sure, I'm not talking for him, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be the first pride champion ever. For real. Like, that takes me to the rainbow shit. I don't gather he wants to be the front runner for that. You know? Pride. What pride? Especially a black person. Like, what pride? Why name the title? Why name the title Pride Champion? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Pride, dog. This ain't about pride. This is about recognition. That's the I've been offline lately, Queen. I'll be ghosting. How's everything, man? Because we know that so far the box community does too, and I hope it doesn't change. Great love. Go. Let me see. Ghost. We know that, and so far the box community does. I'll let y'all have y'all dialogue. So back to this article. Let me try to find this article. Let me see. Let me try to find this article because let me reword it. Wow. Hold on for a split. Okay, we back. I was trying to find an article. Let me see if this is it. Mm. Hey, y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. I don't like saying that because I'm talking to grown adults, man. You know, hit the like button if you choose to. I appreciate it. Damn, they done sanitized the shit out this. Wow. I guess Mauricio sent his team out there. Hurry up. Let me see. Damn. Ghost over here trolling. What? Oh my god. I'm gonna act like I didn't even read that. Um I'm gonna act like I didn't even read that. Let me. So Ghost said here's the first Skittles champion. Drop the belt if you ask me. It ain't worth. Shit they gave George got some recognition at least. What you mean the shit they gave George? That's the same belt that Teofimo had, and they was busy up here campaigning that he wasn't undisputed. He ain't gonna be undisputed. Now people just letting Mauricio come out and say once again he's undisputed. And I don't see, it's a turn of the time, even on this YTC. People was sitting up here campaigning. They was protesting just a little bit. They was campaigning for Devin Haney stepping there with T.O. And everything was the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? He ain't undisputed till he fight Devin. He ain't undisputed. How many people I had in my chat speaking of that? Now Cambosa's got the title. It's almost like, oh, I'm glad we got rid of Lopez Sr. I don't have to hear his dad's mouth no more. Now you're not hearing of that. Like you're not hearing, people are not vocalizing that on the regularity. Like they're not vocalizing. Devin just got off a fight, right? So I know an article came out that he was requesting that people, basically advocate for him to step in with Kambosos, which is all good. But I'm just saying in general, from the collective, like all these channels that was pushing for Teofimo to own up and face Devin for the undisputed. Now the Kambosos is here. It's almost like it's just vanished. Like it was good for just TV when T.O. was champion, and it was somewhat like a grudge going on between him and Devin Haney. But now T.O. is out of the picture and he lost the way he did. People sitting up here jumping on the Kambosos wagon, a red wagon at that, a tricycle. They jumping on the Kambosos wagon. So Devin's not getting the push that he had before when it was Teofimo Lopez. I'm curious to know why, though. What's the point of all that? Yeah, all these little bots just trying to, pretty much YouTube is going to have to do something about that for real. I'm pretty sure they're going to sooner or later, but this has nothing to do with the live chat putting all this, all these trolls and all these bots in here. George's not undisputed champ in my eyes. They've got the belt, but it's like no one wants to speak on it except a few of us. So one breath you say, he's the first Skittles champion, but then you say George is not the undisputed champion. So what has more value? Skittles champion, which is no way, shape, or form a part of boxing right now, or the franchise championship? Right now, it's going to be the franchise championship. Seriously, that's the way it's going to be. He ain't calling the Pride champion. You feel? There's going to be some something everyone attacks. Me and you doing it, but the rest of these folks need to do so. I'm not here to go against the YTC because I understand their mannerisms. Like they switch up all the time. Like they only look, it's cats on here that really don't give a damn about boxing the way you think they do. They just will talk on a subject that's hot. If they can get enough views and talk about it for a month or two straight and get people to tune in and give viewership and drop super chats, they really can care less about the situation. Anybody can come up with storylines and speak as if they're passionate about it, and they really don't give a fuck. Not too many people are vocal about this shit, dog, the way it was when Tio had the belts. Like, you don't hear them saying, no way Lomachenko should get the shot. No, you don't hear none of that. It should be, no way. No way. We want Devin Haney. We want Devin Haney Kambosos. Haney Kambosos. Nope. None of that shit. People are quiet. You know who they talking about? Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. That fight, look, we can get Kambosos Haney before we get Spence Crawford. Kambosos just came off a fight. Haney came off a fight. We can definitely get this undisputed for lightweight before we're going to get Crawford Spence. That's a factual. Real talk. That shit is factual, dog. Teach on deck. What's good, man? I'm repeating what Mauricio said, King. Okay. All right. Got you, Ghost. All right. Cool. Exactly my point. Will come out. We saying the same thing for me. Dev the champ. Dev the champ. That's what it is. But the general public not attacking the topic with the energy they attack Tio. Yes, sir. I mean, you got to call it for what it is, man. It's a lot of people that'll switch up on here, and they have you believing that they really supporting the boxer, and then, when their primary target, it's all about conversational targets, subject targets, topic targets. Who are they targeting? And if they target brings them attention, Tio was bringing them attention. Like Deontay Wilder. You put Deontay Wilder in the title when he was facing Fury, it brings attention. People want to hear what's going on. Kambosos, nobody really gives a fuck about Kambosos. All they was happy about is he won the fight between him and Tio. Now, it's just like the heavyweight division, goddammit. I'm just calling it for what it is. Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder, and nobody's saying a damn thing about it. When that fight was pending, every other freaking day you will see a post up here about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Now, they know Alexander Usyk is unified. Anybody talking about it? No. They know Anthony Joshua will have a rematch. Anybody talking about it? Nope. They know Tyson Fury is the WBC heavyweight champion. Anybody talking about him? Nope. He's just going in here making cameo appearances, singing happy birthday to Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody talking about that shit. They don't give a fuck about Kambosos. Destiny say, come back, we'll solve the Da Vinci Code before we figure out what the F Suliaman is trying to do with the franchise belt, which he said he's only keeping in the lightweight division. If he's only keeping it in the lightweight division, then he wouldn't have elevated Juan Estrada. You know what I'm saying? Juan Estrada Estrada is going to be facing Chocolatito in the trilogy. They fucked over Rung Fasai, who was next up for the WBC championship. They didn't care. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care. And they're going to implement another franchise, I would say a minimum of 2 next year. So Mauricio can see what the hell. I mean, people can quote what they want. Mauricio is going to continue to implement this franchise belt. Or else he wouldn't be up here damn highlighting Undisputed for Kambosos. Unless he's just trying to, push it upon the viewing audience to build up a fight. Because sooner or later, when it comes January, we're going to start hearing some news about who Kambosos is going to fight. Because they're going to be in fight camp. They're going to have to start up fight camp. So we're going to hear who Kambosos is going to fight real soon. We're going to hear. I don't want to break anybody. I don't want to break anybody's hearts from what I'm hearing behind the scenes about this shit. I don't want to break anybody's hearts, man. I don't want to send you into Christmas, all angry, upset. I don't want to do that. But Kambosos, I know he was a capping ass motherfucker when he's sitting up here talking about, I just calling what I want to see. And then he put that Undisputed up on IG. He didn't give a fuck, man. He criticized Teofimo Lopez and he turned around and did the exact same thing. We can get Kambosos Haney in 22. Of course. As soon as spring, we're not getting Crawford Spence, but of course we can get that shit. But like I said before, I'm not here to break hearts before Christmas. I'm just going to allow shit to play out. And then you all can receive the word. And then I'll talk on it. Because when I release shit first, people grab it, don't even give you credit. They don't say shit. They act like they never heard it before, dog. They'll do a live on it. They won't get, I heard it from here first. I don't care about any of that. I just know what I know. And, it's a reason why Mauricio is pushing this Undisputed. If you ever looked at what Lomachenko said, what did he say? He's motivated to become Undisputed. That motivation does not include Devin Haney. So with help, Mauricio Suliaman is going to build up the public perception of George Kambosos being Undisputed. So when they bring in potential opponent for him, the crowd will accept like, yes, this is legitimate Undisputed. All of a sudden, it's going to be the change like I've been talking about. Seriously, this is what I've been saying. You all are going to recognize the franchise belt for what it is. This next fight is going to do that because it's not going to include any controversy. The promotion that holds this fight, they're going to continue. They're going to start up talking. Guess what? We have a big fight news coming up. We have George Kambosos, the undisputed lightweight world champion. He's being challenged by da-da-da. Yeah, they're going to make it a point. They're going to put that language out there to the world. These folks ride trends. That's what it's all about. You remember what happened with Mikhail Fox in the heat of the moment when there was a trend? Everybody spoke on the topic and said justice for Fox. Well, I DM'd them all what? Yeah, man, they was all for Michael Fox. Look, if boxing didn't freaking swing that hammer and crack you in the head with it, watching the referee turn and say, hey, who signed off on those gloves? Saw the fix was in. With all the experience, you had a guy who barely had 4 fights. His gloves was fucked up. Then they rob him on the decision. And then appeal is put in. And they wouldn't even give Fox the appeal. Granted, he was robbed. And also they tried to come in there with gloves that was fucked up. And then manipulated patent. And you trying to tell me you love this abusive relationship? You love how boxing do you? Boxing is absolutely that mistress. It's abusive all the time, man. People just get used to getting punished. Slap me, please. Slap me. Pick up an object. Hit me with it. Grab that WBC belt. Hit me with no franchise. Go ahead. Slap me with it. The commission said they refused to change the decision, and noon except 2 people spoke on it. No one except two people. I did. I spoke on the shit. I spoke on it for sure. I sure did. They riding trends. They not boxing fans on wanting justice or what best for boxing. They riding trends for views. This is what I mentioned already about those, these individuals on YouTube, if they really want to prove a point and be taken serious as a YouTube boxing community, all you have to do is protest. But you have so many people scrounging, act like they're scrounging for these pennies on here that they'll refuse to shut down their channel for 48 hours. Just shut down your channel for 48 hours and put a thumbnail up there on when your next live will be, and let the message be seen through your thumbnail. People spend countless of freaking hours a week throwing up thumbnails, Photoshop, editing, all that shit. You can't put a thumbnail, a creative thumbnail up there to protest a specific fighter. If you really give a damn about Devin Haney, that's like I said before, let's get all together. Put your thumbnails up, shut down for 48 hours so your audience can understand how serious this is, and that boxing will understand how serious it is. Boxing Scene, ESPN, Boxing News 24, somebody's bound to pick up this shit. They will pick up. They say, guess what? The YouTube, the new media, the YouTube community has now protested. They're protesting. They're in protest. It's going to be affected in a wide range because your audience is going to be affected. They're not going to have you on here talking. So they're going to be talking about it. They're going to say, God damn, bro, I'm so used to coming on YouTube for my boxing news. Man, they shut down for 2 days. Now they're going to have a sense of how serious it is. But I guarantee it won't happen. Look, I've mentioned it before. I'm the only one who mentioned it. They're not going to shut down their channel for 48 to 72 hours. Because they busy want to goddamn believe they're going to get rich off YouTube. You ain't going to get rich off this. Teach on deck. How you feel, bro? It's not George and it's not Tank. That's what it is. It's someone else. Start from come back in with your 100% on what you're saying. I'm just relaying all the contradictory crap Suliaman been saying. I'm so tired of hearing his name. He got that, rich affluency. Suliaman don't give a damn about what we talk. Well, he did come to Fred Hawthorne barbershop conversation. And he did sit there and take that. He did sit and have a dialogue with several individuals, I believe. And instead of him just cutting off his camera and saying, I don't have to deal with this, I will accredit him for holding, and stand there and listening to the criticism. Because, Reggie Owens went in on him hard. Reggie Owens, he voices his opinion. He said what he said. And people still talk about that moment to this day. He did show up, but I haven't seen him back since. I'm just saying, I haven't seen him back. I mean, Mauricio doing what rich people do, man. They might drop in every now and then for their own benefit. You know what I'm saying? Ulterior motives. And act like they really give a damn about us. But at the end of the day, this man is up here doing his own internal promotion of George Kambosos' undisputed title just so they can, when the time comes for his next opponent, it's not much building they have to do. This is for the lightweight undisputed world championship. And the boxing fans going to be up here sucking their thumb. Oh, for real? Oh, okay. Now they recognizing it. Wow. Now it's undisputed. Now they really recognizing it, buddy. Man, Kambosos, man, they recognize him as the undisputed. He has to finish titles. Lomachenko, who's going to be? Devin, who's it going to be? This shit is going to be dead when it comes out. They're trying to build this fight up to do some numbers. They're trying to build this fight up for money. You talking about Bob Arum competing with Eddie Hearns? It ain't no competition, dog. It ain't no competition. Just remember I told you that. It's no competition, dog. Devin Haney is still locked in with Matchroom. He's not a free agent. I thought it was a big deal out there that he was a free agent now, but he's not a free agent. He made that perfectly clear. So who's gonna go? Who's gonna go up against Bob Arum when it comes to Lomachenko getting in there? Who? I don't get it. Who's gonna go up against that? Tyrone Spencer on deck. How you feel? Salute at World Combat Sports. Salute to you, my brother. Devin Haney hasn't come out and said anything bad about the WBC yet, except for his retweet. If he's not mad about it, why are others? I want to see how long Devin gets silent. Teach, I look at it like this. It's not the fact that Devin is not mad about it. I'm pretty sure him and his pops feel some type of way. Absolutely. But just like I mentioned Gary Russell Jr. earlier, no one regulates boxing. So if they want to blacklist your ass, if they want to set you up for a downfall or failure, it can happen. It's a reason why the Haneys ain't going up here going hard on Mauricio. He attempted to say he was going to sue Mauricio, but you know how quickly he retracted that shit. It never happened. Devin's trying to play nice, bro. Devin's trying to play nice with the WBC. He's in a position where he's pleading for them to recognize him. He's pleading. Look, as a black man in general, right? I know when it comes to us, it's right off the rip saying, you know, I want you to show me why you deserve this. For us, it's almost like, now, why are you doing that to me? I think I'm qualified like the next person. Why I got to show you more than anybody else? That's how it is with. We might be quick to react. We might be impulsive on that shit, right? But Devin Haney saying he'll fight him on Jupiter. He is pleading for help. I don't like it. I didn't like it in the military. I had so many situations where I was outspoken at the wrong time and people try to blackball you and shit. They did, you know, at a certain point. But you stand your ground, you stand your ground. And for Devin, him saying he'll fight him on Jupiter, you know, Kambosos looked at that like, it's not much I got to do. Like, he's pleading for me to accept him. I never would have said that more than once. But he said it more than once that he'll fight him on Jupiter. And that didn't mean anything to Kambosos. His mind was already made up. He want the money, dog. Kambosos is not confident that he can defend them titles. So the next fight he goes into, he wants to make sure he makes good money. Because Kambosos himself is probably going to be moving up to 140. I'm not saying tomorrow, but he lose these motherfucking titles. Let's just say he lose them. I can't see him staying at 140 if he became undisputed, quote unquote. So what would be the more productive move, the more sound decision? To move up to 140, get the hell out of 35. But if he wins, he gets another big payday at lightweight. If he beats Lomachenko and puts him on this record, now he has Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko, y'all. You think that's not enough? Who else is he going to fight? Ryan Garcia? Is Devin still going to hang around until? That's when it becomes a cry for help and desperation. Please pick me, pick me, pick me. I don't want him to go through that. Kambosos, be a man about it and goddamn allow this man the opportunity to split the ropes and grace the square with you. Stop all this damn corporate shit like you done been in here, goddamn winning fights with big names. You know what I'm saying? Just give the people what they want. So Teach, I wouldn't act like Devin's just being quiet about it. Man, they want to be professional. They want to continue to be in good standing with the WBC. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just can't be up here saying fuck Suliaman and they're trying to get him to be on their good side. And that's what happened when you're working for people. I mean, people say they bosses all the time, but you ain't bosses, man, until you making your own decisions, making your own moves, and you dictate how much money you getting paid. Mitch say franchise title never belonged in the lightweight division. Suliman thinks he's cleaned some shit up. Instead, he took a mop dredged with fecal matter and puked to the floor and just needed to be swept. Hey, dog. Damn. Why? You said the man took a mop that it was soiled in fecal matter. God damn. Tyrone Spencer, you called it from day one, but to me, it's like calling a woman, you get a sex change. Hold up before I read this shit. Let me read this in silence first. Okay. Just like you calling a woman, and then she get a sex change, and then they call him a man. I get you. Destiny say, yeah, King, because yet again the WBC is doing some homotional. Now, one thing it is funny about then social media is the words, the anagram. These words, homotional. I like that one, homotional. You homotional, dog. BS again. Damn. And to think we all pretty much graduated basic education high school. But it's all in fun. Man, you're homotional. The only thing that would help is protest a product. I seen you was the only one willing to do that or even speak about it. Yeah, man, I said, let's break it down. But these cats, man, they want to keep on getting this money, because on here, all these damn 50,000 followers you got, subscribers, they're not really 50,000. They're artificial, artificial intelligence, bots and fillers and all this other shit. Because if that was the case, if I see 50,000, I should see at least about 8,000 in this motherfucker on your lives. You know what I'm saying? You do have people on the regular that donate to these channels. Okay, I get it. But like, do we have day jobs? Because some people just act like, man, you know how stressful it is? Like, think about this. How stressful it is to have to set up and be on YouTube every day and really be stressing about this money. That what YouTube gets 30% plus, right? Something like that. 30% plus. And what you get is taxed. But you see people here 7 days a week on this shit. Not me. I mean, I come on and do what I do, but I'm not here for, some change or whatever. I'm just doing it because my love for boxing MMA. But I get what you're saying, man. Hey, they ain't gonna protest. They ain't gonna shut their channel down. For Devin Haney, they'll have Bill on and all the time, call him up and all this shit. But if Bill said, hey, my good fella, my good brother, I'm just asking for y'all to shut down for 48 hours protest. Let's see how many people do it. Bill Haney, you listen, ask the YTC to shut down 48 hours so they can put a thumbnail up. Every thumbnail should read Devin Haney versus George Kambosos for Undisputed. It should be some message passed in protest with a thumbnail up there to say Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Give it to the boxing fans. Then you see who's really fucking with you, Bill. I recognize the franchise title for what it is. Oh man, you won't get no debate out of me. I told y'all it was undisputed, and it was only going to get worse. I just want the other bodies to speak about it. To me, it's strange that they have not come out with a public statement on the franchise belt. What's your opinion on why they have been silent? Because they're working together. Like, they're not really working together as far as codependency, but they're pretty much in the same position. These sanctioning bodies, they're in the same position doing the same thing the WBC. They ain't coming out with no franchise belt, but the WBA did have the WBA Super and the WBA regular. They don't want to go against, the WBC right now. It's just a phone call away for them. For people over the WBC, you got to think about the people behind Mauricio. You have to think about the individuals who have jobs. These people are very, very dependent on getting that paycheck. They consider themselves to be corporate entities. They gonna speak about the WBC? I don't think it's that easy, bro. Two ways I see this fight happening: if Devin and his team puts the most money up, and if Devin is the only one who decides to go to Australia. No, Lomachenko say he's willing to go over there. Vasily, I spoke to him when he was in NYC. He says he's willing to go over to Australia. He has no problem with it. He has no problem. Devin say he's willing to go over there. No problem with it. That's two of the primary players right there. They have no problem going over to Australia. WBC franchise title really isn't the other sanctioning body's business. However, none of them had T.O. listed as undisputed. They also still recognize Haney as a champ. And look, I still think that had a lot to do with Mauricio Suliaman, because it's presidents of sanctioning bodies, it's promoters that don't like certain fighters. I think it was more going on behind the scenes with Teofimo making these demands and stuff like that. And it's cool. It's cool today. Look, I'm not going against Lopez for negotiating his worth and getting paid. This is boxing. There's no retirement plan, right? But in the process, you piss people off. You have a very outspoken father who people just despised. But they wasn't despising him when T.O. did what he did with Nakatani, Comey, and then Lomachenko. They wasn't despising him then. They only started despising him when the meetings with Bill Haney and the back and forth YTC hoopla was going on. All these channels was getting involved. They wanted Bill on. They want a senior on. They want a senior on. They want a Bill on. And then, you got Skidmark over there. He used to be a full-fledged Haney supporter. When I was trying to help the brother out, he told me I was kissing ass. And what happened? Oh, he found out something. Then he started supporting T.O. And the biggest disappointment to see Lopez Sr. even on that channel after they dogged his son out so much. So imagine that. Imagine how the ebbs and flows go on YouTube. Imagine that. As much as they dogged the shit out of his son, he shows up on that channel. I mean, it's no chill, dog. That is no chill on this YouTube shit. Fake it till you motherfucking make it. I think Loma will go to Australia. However, I think Hearns has the bigger bag proposal than the Zone. I don't know about that, man. I do not know about that. Man, all types of shit was on that map. That mop. Suliaman used afterbirth, cat piss. Damn. I know Mauricio one wasn't them using that mob. He probably had one of his helpers. So then money is the only option. Money isn't the only option, man. It isn't. Money isn't the only option, because you got to think about the way Cambosis is looking at this. When he started giving you that vibe in Vegas, he was pretty much treating Devin Haney like Mauricio Suliaman is treating him right now. They think he doesn't sell big tickets, just like they're trying to treat Terrence Crawford. They're trying to say Devin Haney hasn't fought anybody of notoriety. And for Cambosis to take that mentality, and his biggest fights was Lee Selby and Mickey Bay, is disrespectful and arrogant on Cambosis' part too. Because boxing is a doggy dog world, man. So he's sitting up here treating, Haney like, you ain't gonna sell no tickets. But you know who will? Lomachenko. Because we remember when Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez fought, they did damn good numbers on free TV. So just imagine we put it on PPV. Imagine we put it on PPV. This is gonna be hot. We're gonna make millions. That's what Cambosis, hundreds of thousands. That's what Cambosis want. And if you had asked anybody outside of who's holding the title, if it's all about boxing being a business, who would they choose for Cambosis to step in the ring and make the most money? They're going to pick Lomachenko, man. That's just what they're going to say. Yeah, he said, yeah, I did hear Loma say he's willing to go. Cambosis don't owe it to Haney, but he was fronting like he was going to straighten shit out. He was just talking. Cambosis was capping, dog. Cambosis didn't look. People act like he looked all like he was a star performer that night against T.O. Man, come on. He caught T.O. early in the fight and couldn't even do anything but that. And y'all jumping on T.O.'s neck, talking about, he got his ass beat. Look, he took punishment because the way he was fighting. It's lack of defense. But Cambosis was knocked down later in the fight when he hit T.O. flush. He hit that man flush early in the fight, fresh. He had all his strength. And he still gets dropped. And people acting like Cambosis did this phenomenal upset. Yeah, he got the belts, but he didn't go in here and give us one of those star performances like this memorable fight that we just gonna tune back into every time we want to watch a classic. Hell no, shouty. Cambosis does, I read that WBC franchise title allows other bodies to mandate their fight. I remember when people was telling me that Teofimo Cambosis, it wasn't for the franchise title. It was just for the IBF. I say, good Lord, how you are misinformed. I swear to God. I swear to God, man, how they misinformed for real. Y'all hold on for a second, man. I got to take this from Mom's right quick. Hold on for a second. Appreciate y'all who stayed in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Getting close to the holidays, so you know how that goes, y'all. I can't front on Cambos's performance versus T.O. That was a good win. He got dropped in 10th, but that was a solid performance. Like I hold true to my opinion on my assessment. I think it was more T.O. not being 100% than Cambos's outperforming him. I think he had the wrong game plan. I think something was wrong with him medically. I'm not no way, shape, or form coming up with, reasons as to why he lost. I'm just saying it didn't look like the T.O. that I'm used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? So of course, in boxing, you're not going to perform up to your potential. Look, you can go back in every fighter that had a bad day, and they'll tell you what was wrong. If they was injured, if something medical was going on, all of that. But T.O. is still a super threat, a big threat. A healthy T.O. dude can bang, man. I mean, he moved up to 140. He's still a problem. He's still a problem. He comes back down there, he's still a problem at 35. Real talk, he's still a problem for anybody at 35. Even Lomachenko, man. Even Lomachenko. But, cutting weight, having bad weight cuts, it's crucial, man. It's very crucial in your body, dog. It's crucial. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, cool. I haven't watched it since that. I watched that fight a few times and I laugh every time I watch it. I'm glad Tio lost his belts after the win. This belt, he started moving and talking real snake-like. Of course, he was different. Yeah, he started acting and different. Yeah, but what are y'all? Are y'all just opportunists? Y'all just here to prey on the fighter's downfall, or y'all as fans, y'all support the sport, or what? Because this is exactly what's going on with Devin Haney. This is exactly my point. Is going on with Devin Haney. Y'all was happy to see T.O. lose, but nothing after that. Y'all was happy to see Deontay Wilder lose and acting like you was supporting Tyson Fury. It's the same thing that keeps on trending in the sport of boxing. People want to see somebody lose because they don't like them. And then after that, they still left empty. Oh my God, I wish it would be another. You know what I'm saying? You're still empty. I can't front. Let me see. I read that already. King Precise, I was joining still. I don't care. He should have never called Deontay that name. See, once again, y'all mad at a fighter, not because of his boxing skills, but you mad at him because he called another fighter name, which happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're not at Sergey Kovalev's doorstep for punching a woman and assaulting a woman. You're not at Billy Joe Saunders' doorstep because he sit up here and basically did a video on how to damn lay into a woman if she's talking too much. Gervonta Davis had his issues outside the ring. He's done said what he said to several fighters. You know what I'm saying? What about Lomachenko saying the judges was paid off and coming up with all these excuses after the fight? I'm not telling you how to arrange your emotions, but man, y'all be getting mad at fighters just because they did something that's been going on for the test of time, man. It's been trash talking in the sport forever. Forever, dog. How much are y'all mad at Caleb Plant because him and Canelo was going back and forth, and he ended up having a conversation with Canelo in the fight before he was stopped, and he was damn humbled at the end of the fight. He wanted to apologize and be all nice. Y'all ain't talking about that. Caleb called Canelo a bitch, didn't he? To some of y'all, Canelo is your savior. I mean, y'all ain't mad at that shit. So you can't just be mad because T.O. called Deontay. He said he was acting like that. He said he was acting like that. And then T.O., he turned around and do the same thing after the fight. I feel I won the fight. I this and that. He was making excuses. I got to hold him accountable too. He was making excuses. Absolutely he was. Absolutely he making excuses. Who's the guy that whooped Josue in 30 seconds after he talked out? That was Cepeda. Andrew Charles on deck. How you feel, bro? Cambosa's win kind of reminded me of that. For me, what? Cambosa's win reminded you of Josue Vargas? Josue Vargas never had a chance. Like, he was done. Once they started to, exchange, he had the wrong game plan. He underestimated Cepeda's power, man. For me, it's a little satisfying to see a loudmouth find the right one. Yeah, it's okay to find the right one, y'all. It's okay. But just to say you glad to see this fighter lose because they was talking. Well, do you not want them to talk trash? Do you want them fighters to be a Gennady Golovkin? Real talk. Do you want to just go here and act like a robot? And say big drummer show. I mean, come on, man. Like, trash talking has been existent in boxing for long time. I don't see these same people in the chat running up to Mike Tyson and say, I hate you, Mike. You bit another man's ear and spit it out on the canvas. That's barbaric. I didn't see y'all running up to Mike calling him cannibalistic. You like human flesh, Mike? You like human flesh, Mike? I thought it was about boxing, Mike. I don't see y'all running up to Mike. Mike bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. He bit Holyfield's ear off. Do you understand me? He basically dislodged a portion of dang Evander's body, cartilage out of his ear, bit his ear off. And every time Mike come on, oh man, wow, Mike looks good. He look in great shape. Man, I don't hear y'all dropping Mike Tyson DMs talking about, I still feel some type of way about that. You did my boy Holyfield dirty. Nope. So I ain't buying all that shit. You mad T.O. said that to Wilder. Man, get out of here, please. Get out of here with that. Come on. To be fair, T.O., he didn't go out like a chump. He was gritty. And he did get the late knockdown. Both guys looked like they'd been in a fight when it was over. But T.O. looked the worst for wear. I'm not gonna bullshit you, Andrew. T.O. was looking real bad in that fight, shouted, for real. He said Josue, Destiny. He talking about Josue. Vargas versus Cepeda. It just went down when he crushed Vargas. That's what I'm thinking there, Andrew. You put Josue up there, and he's the one who lost to Cepeda. The same Cepeda who went life and limb with Baranchik. Said peace and blessings, WCS. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Happy holidays to everybody that's in the chat. I mean, we only have one more day before Christmas, so I'm not going to ask anybody for any super chats, any of that. Enjoy your holiday. Continue to support the channel. And in the future, you want to donate, you do that. Till about to get that work at 140. Bob about to feed him to the wolves. I don't think so, man. Bob can make money off T.O. I don't think he's going to feed him to the wolves. I don't know why people think Bob is just absolutely upset with T.O. Like, people have been mad with Bob forever and a day. Like Terrence. People was up here talking to Terrence Crawford was going to get sabotaged. He was going to lose his title. Shit. 4YT on deck. What's good with you, bro? I never thought T.O. was a great fighter. You never ever heard me praise T.O. ever. Well, I hope you didn't praise him as a great fighter. Well, you can put him in the conversation that his feat of stepping in there and defeating Lomachenko could be considered great. His moment of greatness, because Lomachenko was top 2 pound for pound at that time. You can consider that moment a moment of greatness. Now, granted, he never defended his title successfully. We know that, but I'm telling you, y'all sleeping on T.O. going to 140, man. Y'all gonna be right here, back on his bandwagon, strapped in, riding that saddle. Tomorrow, you know what? Combat, I just gotta, just go back to when we was talking. I underestimated T.O. I'm telling you, Destiny. I'm telling you, man. Y'all gonna be on T.O.'s team. Watch. Never heard me praise Canelo. I definitely never said anything about cinnamon sugar. Yeah, man. Canelo, boy, he got this fan base that want to see him lose now. That same fan base that Floyd had. Canelo got that fan base that want to see him lose again. They want to see if somebody else outside of Floyd that can beat Canelo. Andrew say, nah, I'm definitely pro trash talking. I wish he saw more of it during press conference. Man, you got to talk trash in boxing, man. Don't nobody want to see no quiet ass fighters up here. Man, don't nobody want to see that shit. They want to see that Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez. They want to see that Tony Harrison versus Jamel Charlo, man. They want to see that Riddick Bowe versus Larry Donald, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. They want to see that Teofimo versus George Kambosos energy. Who else is talking shit, man? They want to see that even that Keith Thurman, how he promos a fight, man. They want to see that Jose Benavidez, Terrence Crawford energy. They want to see that Darrell versus Uz Kostagi energy. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury energy. Yeah, Lewis and Rodman had a damn wrestling match during the interview. Yeah, man, they moved furniture, dog. And finally, I got to saw Hakeem Rothman down here in the A, man. His sons was fighting on the card. He's a big dude right now. I don't know how fast he is, but he's a big dude. Like, Rodman had to be pushing 300. For real. He has to be pushing 300, dog. He has to be pushing 300 pounds. Seriously. I like when fighters pop their shit, but when I can sense the fakery, I don't fuck with it. You're not gonna keep lying to me. Who's lying to you, man? The only person that's really been lying to you straight to your face was, first and foremost, Ryan Garcia. That dude is lying to your face, straight up, lying to your face, dog. Lying Ryan Garcia, his shit does not end on the 31st of December. His shit bleeds over into 2022 because he called out Gervonta, went on Mike Tyson's podcast, aborted Gervonta fight with Pacquiao, a fight that never even existed. Biggest capper of them all, dog. Subpar. If Teofimo is subpar, I'm curious to know what the other fighters in the top 5 at lightweight is. If Teo is subpar on that night, he was subpar. On that night, he was subpar. But you look at who he, you can't say he was subpar, fighting Richard Comey. Vasil Lomachenko went the distance with Comey after knocking him down. Teo smashed him in 2 rounds, man. I like Comey. Teo not smashed, but he went in there and beat Masayoshi Nakatani when he was undefeated. He beat Vasil Lomachenko, man. The only other person to beat him was Orlando Salido, dog. He gave Lomachenko a second only loss. We talking about a guy who attempted to come in here in his second professional fight and win the championship. So you can't say he's a subpar fighter. He just looked bad on the night he lost to Kambosos. Just like people say Lomachenko looked a certain way when he lost to Tio. Man, y'all need to chill, man. Y'all need to absolutely chill on my boy Tio. He'll be back. I want to talk about this Jaron Ennis. Why are people pushing so hard for Jaron Ennis and he ain't did nothing? He has not did nothing yet, dog. I'm not going to share screen to his resume like I did the other day. But we already know his last two opponents what really matters because Van Heerden, they was having a headbutt competition. So then you go up to Sergey Lipinets and freaking Thomas Delorme. Why are people pushing Boots Ennis to fight Crawford? This is becoming Sir Rogers' neighborhood topics. I swear to God. Hello, everyone. I'm about to talk to you about some absolute bullshit. Jaron Ennis, he should be absolutely next for Terrence Crawford. Here's why. Have you seen him fight? Who gives a fuck about his resume? Have you seen him fight? He has all the tools. It's his time. You check out his rankings in the sanctioning body. He's next up. I mean, dude, why are y'all pushing Jaron Ennis and y'all just drowning in hypocrisy? Because when Terrence Crawford came up here, at least he fought a champion. Boots has not fought a champion at 47. And all of a sudden, he gets the rights. He gets the rights. There's a push and the demand for him to step in with Crawford. Why are y'all so anxious to see Crawford step in the ring when he's been fighting once a year? Like, he's not in a hurry to fight twice a year just to appease the YouTube boxing community. Like, I know it's a rumor mill going out there that he may face Keith Thurman if he gets past Barrios. That might be far from the truth than you believe. Seriously, that might be far from the truth, people. People just absolutely believing that Ugas is going to be an easy go for Spence. And then we really don't know what's going to happen with Barrios, but they're giving Keith Thurman the benefit of the doubt that he can return to the sport and get that win. And then they're thinking that Keith Thurman is going to be the one facing Terrence Crawford. Why is Boots Ennis coming out the lips of these individuals who claim they talk boxing all the time? Why are they pushing? This is the same shit they did when it was Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. They was talking back and forth. Now they have a new player that's on deck. Virgil Ortiz been here now. Virgil Ortiz, they weren't pushing Virgil Ortiz, but now you get another black fighter and they want to get together and talk about the name of the fighter that they're going to push on Crawford next, and that is Jaron Ennis. They just using Jaron Ennis. They just using the shit out of him. They taking full advantage of him, dog. They're taking full advantage. They cannot support Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis alike. They can't do that shit alike. They would jettison one of the other. And that one they're using right now is to fulfill the work of getting Terrence Crawford belt. That's all they want to do. They have Terrence Crawford in the same position they had T.O. They want somebody to go in there and beat T.O. They just didn't think it was going to be Kambosos. So now they want somebody to go in there and beat Crawford. 6 straight stoppages. 6 straight stoppages. And y'all thinking Boots is going to have easy work of Terrence. Y'all must have lost. Y'all got, I almost said some shit. Oh, y'all lost y'all mind, dog. T.O. Pop said the Kambosos fight would sell $2 million. Yeah, he was just talking, dog. L Dub on deck. How you feeling, bro? Cameron Duncan is looking to get the IBF to order a final eliminator for the boots. New IBF rankings will be out next week. Either way it goes for the IBF, there's a number 2 slot that's vacant. And then, of course, just lost to Cody Crowley. So therefore, they can order boots to slide up in there for an eliminator. Who that eliminator is going to be is definitely not going to be. It's going to be somebody that they pull up and make it worthwhile. Else Boots is going to have an easy title eliminator. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Like Teofimo Lopez title eliminator wasn't easy. He fought an undefeated fighter in Nakatani. So I'm curious to know whose Boots title eliminator is going to be. I'm curious. I'm pushing for Boots to fight everyone. Don't give a fuck who it is. I have no issue with Boots fighting Crawford, Spence, Thurman, Ugas, Mike, or Ben. Well, we definitely don't want to see him fight Mikey Garcia. We definitely don't want to see that. It's going to be somewhat similar to Sergey Lipinets, except Mikey has good enough defense to make it to the final bell, just like he did against Spence. Thurman, so far away. I'll watch it though. Spence Crawford, I'll watch it. Ben, I don't think he's ready for Boots just yet. I want to see Boots versus Ortiz as well. Why? That might, like Shakur Stevenson said, that might be a massacre. Ortiz get hit too much, man. That might be a massacre, dog. But look, I gotta give Virgil Ortiz his props. He's tough as shit, dog. My thing is, Bud is going to commit to staying in the division, waiting for the Spence fight. I want him to get a fight in. Yeah, I mean, does he really have to get a fight in, Andrew? Does he? Because look, y'all not saying that about Spence being out for as long as he's been out with an eye injury, and attaching a more lengthy time out the ring. I mean, look at it that way. When Spence was injured, the only thing that kept you and anybody else from saying we want to see him in the ring is because he has an eye injury. Now that he just finished 20 minutes ago, Terrence Crawford just finished knocking out Sean Porter. Okay, y'all act like it was 20 months ago. 20 minutes ago, he just finished goddamn forcing Sean Porter to basically beat up and assault the canvas and earn his 6th stoppage. Why is the man have to have a sense of urgency to pick an opponent for 22? All he has to do is just wait for Spence. Wait for Spence and Ugas, and then the negotiations. I'm telling you, I'm giving you some gems. The negotiations are already going on. I'm giving y'all some gems. They're already negotiating. Man. I'm giving you a gem. Crawford doesn't need protection from Boots. Comment, why are you so opposed to the fight? Crawford probably wins. It may be a jump too soon for Ennis, but I like to see if a Boots wants it. Because, people weren't sitting up here pushing for Terrence Crawford to get a championship fight with Errol Spence like that. All I hear is who has he fought? If you're going to use who has he fought, then say the same thing for Boots. Who has he fought? Who has he fought? Mitch, who has he fought? Well, all of a sudden, you think I have a problem with it. I'm putting the same criteria out there that they put for Crawford in every scenario. They say he ain't fought nobody before the damn Kell Brooks shit, right? He ain't fought nobody. He fought Kell Brook. He fought Sean Porter. Now they're a little quiet. Now they want to talk about butts in the seats. It got to be butts in the seats. It got to be butts in the seats. Butts in the seat. That's all we hear. Now is, can somebody spot me? Shit, I'm doing all this heavy lifting. God damn. I'm doing all this heavy lifting. Somebody spot me. Don't go nowhere. This is my max. I'm going in for a third one. Somebody spot me. Matter of fact, let me get that belt. I don't want to hurt my back. I need a spot. On 3. 1, 2. Now hold up. Should I go? Should I fight Crawford after this fight? I'm doing all the heavy lifting. I might need some time off after this heavy lifting. Man, coming up with all this shit. Heavy lifting. Butts in the seats. Haven't fought nobody. 60-40. J. Ocho. I think he does. Yes. I think he does, man. I think he does. Mike is a smart fighter, man. 4-division champ. He's a smart fighter. I think he goes the distance. Errol trying to say he had to show his boxing skills. When the new IBF rankings come out, we will have a better clue on who Boots will fight into a final eliminator. I'm curious myself. Hold on for a second. Let me blow my nose. Let me look something up right quick. Because I'm curious in the IBF who they're going to drag. You know, it'd be good for them to drag, let's go get Carlos Ocampo again. You know what I'm saying? Since they drug him from the motherfucking dumpster. So Virgil Ortiz is ranked number 4. And like L-Dub said, they come out with the new rankings. He's not fighting Virgil Ortiz. Look who else is in there. Number 5, Conor Ben. So it don't matter if they move your up. It'd be fucked up for them to give Cardrahov, Cardratilio, and Jaron Ennis being he just lost, right? So we'll eliminate number 4, Virgil Ortiz. We'll eliminate number 5, Conor Ben. So I could see with somebody who doesn't have much of a popular name. What about David Avanesian? That'll be a good fight for Boots Ennis. Avanesian. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a good fight. Besides that, there's not too much going on. They're definitely not going to get Custody Clayton. Alexis Rocha. I mean, that's going to be interesting. Whoever they decide to pull out of there, that's going to be interesting. I'm here for Boots versus all welterweights. Here we go again. I guess he's in his holiday spirit. He want to start clowning. Man's Boots versus all. Okay, I got you. I hear you. Abraham Ramos fighting Josecito Lopez on Barrios versus Thurman card. Yep. Maybe Boots get the winner. What? Why would he? You talking about Boots after he fight his title eliminator? Because Josecito Lopez is not ranked like that in the IBF. Mario Barrios. I mean, why would Boots want to get the winner of Thurman Barrios if it's not a title eliminator? So if by chance they can make anything happen, but Thurman is not going to do a quick turnaround for Boots Ennis. Let me give you something right quick there. Jaron Ennis' last fight was October 30th. So you're saying that it's okay for Jaron Ennis to be off, but Keith Thurman would have just had a fight. So he would have to then take some time off and get right back in the training camp to fight Jaron Ennis, who's rested up and everything. That ain't gonna happen with Thurman. That ain't gonna happen. And it's not gonna happen with Mario Barrios. He said he just wait for the winner, Spence Ugas. Fighting Boots right now makes no sense in my opinion. Boots is 2 fights away from his championship fight. That's what I'm saying, man. I just feel it's a cry for it's a desperate cry for attention. The keep mentioning Boots' name, stepping in there with Crawford. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know, just because he's finally, free and clear and spread his wings, he should just fly right into a championship fight. And all of a sudden, the interest is placed on Terrence Crawford of all people. Tell Errol Spence to step aside. Let Boots Ennis fight Yordenis Ugas. If y'all really want to insert Boots Ennis into the equation so it can be a good kumbaya, a good warm kumbaya, hugging it up, tell Errol Spence to let Boots fight Yordenis Ugas. Let him fight him. And then he fight the winner. And why Boots Ennis is fighting Yordenis Ugas, he can fight Terrence Crawford. Why don't we do it like that? If y'all so in a hurry to get Boots on deck, allow that shit to happen like that. Allow Boots to fight Ugas, and then let Errol Spence fight Terrence Crawford, and then we have an undisputed. If y'all so in a hurry for that shit to happen, let's make it happen. Young Bucks versus Old Bulls are my favorite type of matchups. Crawford, Boots would be the ultimate example of that. It's just a fun hypothetical matchup. But I see a lot of glory in it. Glory into the victor. Yes, sir. Carlos Ocampo is at 154. Yes, I do know that, L-Dub. I do know that. I was just being a little bit facetious. L-Dub be thinking we in college. Like, you gotta have some enlightenment. You gotta have some comedy in this shit. I know he's been at 54 for a while, but I said it'll be good for them to get Carlos Ocampo from the garbage, because that's where they pulled him up when he fought Errol Spence. He just came out of nowhere. Oh, Carlos, come on. No, put down that box, man. You don't have to come here no more. I'm about to make you some money. Yeah, just go tell your manager you're not gonna take off the blue vest. Walmart's not gonna care. Give them back their vest. Okay. We're going up to Texas, guy. Okay, you good? All right, cool. It's only gonna be a 1-rounder though. You're gonna get knocked the fuck out, but we're gonna take you up here to Frisco, and we're gonna put you in there with a world champion. You like that? Sounds good? And you're the mandatory. All right, cool. Yeah, Carlos Ocampo is on a winning streak, but who is calling his name at 54? I mean, I haven't heard his name. I haven't heard Carlos Ocampo's name. Like, who calling his name? Shit, Boots Ennis is on like a 28 fight win streak, ain't he? God damn, dog. Shit, man. Boots like 28-0, ain't he? 26 knockouts, dog. Dude is 28-0, 26 knockouts, man. And who has he fought? Who has he fought, Shawty? Who has he fought? One, Carlos Abreu, Chris Van Heerden, Sergey Lipinets, Thomas Delorme, last 4 fights. I refuse to bring up Urabov, who he knocked out in 4 rounds. Man, come on. That dude was short. He was down in the first round. Man, come on, dog. Who has he fought? Franklin Mamani? Raymond Serrano? Dude. The one respect I will give him, though, that most of these Ubers drivers and taxi cab participants was in the U. So this just goes to show you how we produce these type of soft touches for fighters. You know what I'm saying? They did the outstanding job of raising him up, though. I have no problem with Boots Ennis. I'm just saying when it comes to Terrence Crawford, I don't think he did enough. You know what I'm saying? Golub, yeah, he's possible for Boots, man. He's right there. You know, extract Conor Benn, extract Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And who's going to respect that, though, as a title eliminator? Like, it might turn out to be something special. I'm not going to shut it down. It might turn out to be something special, that L-Dub. You know what I'm saying? It might turn out to be something special. Crowley should come into the IBF rankings pretty high. I mean, and look, speaking of Crowley, they can make anything happen there, L-Dub. Real talk. They can make anything happen. Clayton had a subpar performance on the Donaire card, of course, but hey, when it comes to title eliminators, they can make anything happen, dog. They can bring them from anywhere. It's plenty of fighters out here undefeated and haven't fought nobody. Carlos Ocampo was undefeated. No one knew who the fuck he was. My bad, I'm just in tune in the boxing game, kind of different over here. It's all good, man. Do what you do. I'm just looking at, his title eliminated. I don't see a big name out there of interest, that's going to pique the interest of the boxing fans. That's all. I don't know. I'm curious to see, though. I'm curious to see it. I really don't want to see somebody else coming here on a 2-fight losing streak. The Crawford Spence matchup is what I care about, not too much the actual unification of the division at this point. If Crawford threw a curveball on everybody and started the campaign at 154, wow. I would appreciate that. I wouldn't call it a duck. I wouldn't call it shit except him attempting to go for a 4th division. Just like Canelo is trying to go for a 5th and 6th division. You know what I'm saying? If nobody's really looking at that shit, man, Bridgerweight, Canelo's going to be a champion at cruiserweight and Bridgerweight. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Canelo's going to leave this joint a 6th division champion. Easy. Easy. Easy, dog. Why was Bridgerweight created? I know they talked about, the young youth, the young child who's attacked. I get it. But if you look at the news and understand who was just, presented with a WBC Asian title, and you think Canelo is not going to be able to, after he finishes dispersion of Makabu, he's not going to freaking move up to Bridgerweight and get a title? Please. That man is going to be a 6th division champion. He's going to try anything and everything to place himself or supersede that of Floyd Mayweather. And it's still not going to be enough because Floyd Mayweather is his only loss. If they go ahead and pay freaking Floyd $600 million or $700 million to come back, he might can be able to avenge that loss. But he can be a 6th division champion. He can be undisputed at super middleweight. He can be all of that. He can do what Floyd was never able to do. But when the curtains close and he knot up the gloves and say he's out, he's gonna have that one numero uno loss on his record unless somebody else beat him. Because they're thinking about Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul. He might get in there with Jake Paul and goddamn have a banana on him and on the bottom of his shoe and slip and fall when Jake Paul hit him. I don't know. I'm just telling you. We might see Canelo Jake Paul later on in the future. I'm just imagining shit again. Bud gonna stick around for the Spence fight. Yeah, it's a lot of money in that fight. It's a lot of money in that fight. And truly I want to see it because once again, I believe 100,000% that Terrence go in there and get the job done with Errol Spence. And then, that in itself is gonna, I hope the fight is just definitive. I hope he makes his lucky number 7. And then that's going to change YouTube just like the franchise title. I'm serious, dog. Errol Spence loses to Terrence Crawford. You're going to have people on suicide watch. I'm telling you. You're going to have people on suicide watch. Watch. For real. Whoa. Did you see it? They're gonna jump on post fight and act like they wasn't the ones sitting up here talking about Errol Spence, what he was gonna do this. Man, I don't know, man. Really, I'm just shaking my head. Did you think the accident was, was it residual effects from the accident? Do you think he was still experiencing some damage from the accident? Man, I didn't see that coming, man. He stopped him in 3 rounds? Oh, shit. I didn't see Terrence Crawford stopping him in 3 rounds, though. Shit. Damn. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm heartbroken, man. Damn. I don't even know what to do, man. Shoot. I mean, this is what I live for. And then you're gonna have people going in there deleting their Errol Spence freaking lives with all these thumbnails and shit talking about Errol Spence. They're gonna start deleting them shit on the sneak. And then they're gonna start putting up more Boots Ennis down. It's Boots Ennis all day. Boots Ennis next for Terrence Crawford all day. See, Terrence, I knew something was wrong with him with that accident. I knew. Errol, I knew something was wrong with him with that accident. Then they're gonna start switching up on the shit. That's the problem I have when they start switching up and acting like they just didn't see he get his ass beat. We shall see, man. I'm not hoping, I'm not going in here saying, okay, I don't want to see a good fight. I'm just telling you what I think that will happen for the fight that I'm supporting. I think Terrence Crawford get the job done and he goes in there and does it fairly well with Errol Spence. What Errol Spence showed us in the Sean Porter fight, dude, that's a lot of hype behind that guy. There's a lot of hype behind that guy, man. Sean Porter was turning him at ease. You saw what Terrence Crawford did to him. Terrence Crawford was goddamn picking that dude up like it was the first day of wrestling practice. But I'm really curious is, turn the new year. We see a damn good Udinese Ugas fight. I'm not wishing anyone against the other. Like, a lot of people are just brushing Ugas to take this L so it can set up the bigger fight. And you know what? That shit happens in boxing. You can take the L to set up the big fight. Or it can end up like Pacquiao. A lot of people thought Pacquiao was going to beat Ugas, and he won. I don't know, man. But shit happens in boxing like this. Ugas is not a big name. Though he's stepping in there with Errol Spence because he has a title, the big money fight is going to make a lot of promoters rich and the fighters. It's going to be Spence versus Crawford. It's going to be Spence versus Crawford. Real talk. A lot of people are not looking at what's really going on behind the scenes because they're not privy to that. But they think, Crawford's up here demanding a huge sum. And I don't really want to put it out there because I don't want nobody, stealing my shit. I wait till the beginning of the new year. But I put it out there already on another live. I told them that, the negotiation process is 60-40. And I'm going to leave that right there. Negotiation process is 60-40. For those of you that stay close to the sport, negotiation is 60-40. But Spence down there trying to get 70-30. Don't say I ain't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you. Spence trying to get 70-30. And Crawford wants 60-40. But people thinking Crawford won 50-50. But he won 60-40. Spence trying to give him 7-30, which I think is unfair. So I'm going to let that sit with you until the damn holiday. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to jump up off here. It's been like 3 hours plus already. Don't say I ain't give you a gym. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody. Look, I know everybody think they talk to somebody who knows somebody, but I talk to people directly. I don't sit up here and talk about it. And it's not up to me to put everything I know up here on social media, but I appreciate y'all who tune in, man, and support the channel. Real talk. I appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate the input. Thank you for the education. You know what I'm saying? Dropping your opinions on here. Y'all continue to enjoy your holiday. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.